alive. I'm alive. I think I'm alive. I feel like I'm alive. I feel like I'm more alive now than ever before. But I've got to do a couple little things here that I don't really want to mess with too much, but as you can see, let me get you a better view here. Let me get you a better angle, man. As you can see right here, this thing's in dire straits. So, I am trying to fix what somebody else fucked up, which is always a little bit of a challenge, but here, that's probably what happened right there. Look at that. Wow, that is what happened. Look at that sucker. $20-volt fuse. That's what happened. Huh. Wish I'd have known that before. Okay, so now I need a 20-volt fuse, and still gonna have to change this out. Except I'm not gonna do it right this very second. Because in order to change it out, I'm going to need that fuse. And I'm doing this live right now, so I ought to just continue doing the live, right? All right, who's out there? Let's take this thing off, and looks funny. But this is the kind of thing that I used to like take a sheet in the ADX, you know, because you walk back and forth in your cell. When you're in solitude like that, you're gonna walk. I used to walk, I used to run. You could run a couple of steps and then, you know, I'd clear the bunk so that I had a couple extra steps, but, you know, your neighbors don't really like it because everyone gets so used to like quietude. If somebody's bounding and jumping on the floor, hey Zach, good to see you. Oh man, so much, and every day seems packed with stuff, Zach. A lot of different elements, you know. We've got I'm happily married with 5 little dogs, puppies, some of them. So they've all got unique personalities, as you know. They're all really cool, and so I spend time with them. I spend time with, you know, just doing chores, just to keep everything up and running. You know, it's always something. Like today, just now, is changing out this MPPT controller that is the controller that's in this van right now. I see that the guy who let me just say this. It's fucked up, so I'm going to replace it. And, you know, hopefully come up with a better solution, a better system. So, yeah, I mean, still working on the documentary film, where we've made a lot of progress, and we're up to a rough cut. I haven't seen it. They want to do something like a small premiere when it, you know, when they're ready, when they're ready to actually have a final cut. But I want to see, I definitely want to see the rough cut. It'd be very interesting to see it. And obviously they've seen it. So our nonprofit has been busy with its missions, which there's several. We publish courses. They're really for prisoners, but when I first got out of prison, of course, I was on supervised release. So you're not supposed to have any contact with prisoners or anybody to be convicted of a felony and all that stuff. So I really didn't want to get involved with that right away. I did a little bit, just sending. We have another part of our program where we send. We just look up names. We'll just pick names out of the registry in California and federal prisoners. We just pick the names, and we'll just send a book to that person. And we've got a lot of good response with that. But want to amp that up, of course. And in the meantime, I was doing that same kind of program with the homeless or with people that are on the street and so forth, because I really believe in the manual program. I really truly believe that we human beings, we don't understand the real meaning or purpose of human life in a way that allows us to live that life or navigate that life in the most beneficial ways possible. We're collectively, obviously, we're really far away from all that right now. But how are you doing? What's going on in your life? How you doing, Zach? Did I probably talked too much and he ran. Had to run. Yeah, I'm glad to know about this fuse, though. Yep. That thing, think that thing didn't get burnt through and through? Yeah, that's what's up. So, oh yeah. No, Zach, we've got, oh man, that's what I was going to tell you. Our nonprofit has a little piece of land in the mountains, and we're building it out a little bit. We're putting a fence around. We can't build a house or anything like that on it, or any permanent building or structure, but we've got a little fence that we're putting on it, around it, and we're going to build out temporary structures, and we're going to make that into a yoga retreat, or just I might as well just call it a retreat. So a place where we can go with the pups and just relax and hang out. It's in the mountains. There's sequoias. We've got sequoias on our little piece of property. It's really special. It's really nice. It's really it's a major blessing. But no, I mean, I'm good. I'm solid. I'm cruising along, man. I do the manual program every day. Now, there's days that I do miss. I'm not saying that I don't miss a day here or there, but performing, my meditation and the manual program, which is instruction, which is a type of instruction that, plants this information way deeper into your psyche than, just hearing or reading itself. There's a process, and it's actually a scientific process, because there is evidence and evidence-based criteria that have been met, that have been recognized. So it does qualify. I call it, excuse me, I call it depth cognition. Depth cognition. And it's a transformative therapeutic, if you want to call it that. I mean, everything is therapeutic, right? So yeah, it's a therapeutic application. But it's based on the wisdom of the ages. It's based on this ancient type of wisdom. I just knew Larry Hoover by sight. I had seen him a couple of times. Guys just, would say something or that was him or whatever at the ADX. But I didn't know him personally, no. I never met him, never talked to him that I know of. But it didn't do him a lot of good because he still has to deal with the state of Illinois from what I'm hearing and seeing. So that's, he's got quite a big sentence over there, and, Illinois the governor over there might just take a closer look at pardoning him, but who knows? I hope so, because, guys that have been, you can be a real knucklehead. I mean, you could be into whatever you're into full force when you're young, right? Because there's a lot of things you don't understand yet. I'm not talking about life itself, about yourself, really. And so guys get caught up. They get trapped in these circumstances, and that's what they know, and that's what they learn. And jail and prison is what they know and what they learn, and it becomes, a mental prison as much, if not more, than a physical prison. And you have to get in line with the culture. It's like cultures in every country of the world. It's the same thing. So this is a way, a genuine means of freedom, of liberty, of escaping that cage, or operating outside that box, or breaking free from everything that you think that holds you back. Because what we think we know about ourselves is never finite. It's infinite. It's infinite. You just keep experiencing different phases of awareness, consciousness, whatever you want to call it, and you become aware of yourself. You become aware of what's going on in your life, not just in but the flow of life that's around you as well. But yeah, it's cool that they're commuting sentences. I don't know, there might have been, I don't know, who knows? I mean, I asked President Trump for clemency some years ago during his first term. I think that I could have gotten clemency. I think that was a real possibility. I've never even got an answer on that petition. To date, I've never got an answer. But what else can I say? I hope he does well. I hope he gets out. Guys like that, they serve a lot of time. At some point, they say, man, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I got to do something different. And The problem is that people just don't know what to do. What do you do? If you're steeped in that mindset, the prison slash crime scene, if you're steeped in that mindset, what's the process? How do you start? Where do you start? How do you get out of that mindset? So that's something that, it baffles many people, and many experts are baffled. How does this happen? Because it does happen where there are certain modifications and changes that we all make. We make probably hundreds of thousands of decisions every single day, whether we're aware of it or not. A lot of it is just what we call habit. But we can change those behaviors. That's what I came to learn, is that we can change all of that. And the first step is knowing or understanding or having this epiphany. Yes, I do have a choice. I don't have to accept this lifestyle. I can start thinking outside of this box about myself and my own life. And I think that young people, it's hard to get through to people too, when they're on a track, a mental track, particularly when they have certain other elements in their lives that are important to them, that are not easily set aside or turned down to low. So, hey Texan, how's it going? Yeah, man. I see guys, I watch the documentaries a lot on prisoners and death row inmates, and I just watched that documentary about the Huntsville, Texas prisoners and how they release like 50 prisoners a day, and they all have to go in a straight line, and their people can stand on each side of the road and maybe step up and call to them, and they got these little, I don't know, looks like stuff you put oranges in, those little plastics bags with their little belongings in there, and it's like, man, everybody that goes to jail or prison, I don't care. Hey, thank you, Noel. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, I don't care what, man. Everybody that goes to jail or prison has had some trauma, has been through some shit, man. Because, I remember back in the old day, back in Tampa, I was arrested on the bank robberies. This is back in 1989. I'm in the Marshals holding facility in the bottom underneath. And back then, the Marshals, they'd give you cigarettes if you smoke. They'd go out and buy you lunch, really nice lunches. And, really, you didn't have any cuffs or any shackles or anything in the cells. You were just there, if you were going to a hearing or going to a trial. So I was there going to trial, and another guy next to me, a young guy, got sentenced. And he got sentenced to 10 years. And when he came back, you could hear him crying. And one of the guys that was sitting up front by the bars on the other side, he started saying, "Man, what you crying about, man? I'm facing 4 life sentences. They got me under a conspiracy. They didn't find near a drop of drugs or dope, man. They got me under this unknown, unindicted co-conspirators, and I'm facing 4 life sentences here. And you just got 10 years, and you're crying about it." I'll never forget this because this deputy United States Marshal came out into the hallway and he said, "Hold up, fellas." He said, "Let me tell you something." He said, 10 years to this man might just be like 4 life sentences to this man. So, in other words, what he was saying, when he turned around and he just went back in the office. Well, what he was saying was, don't get it fucked up. If you end up, you end up going into custody, the loss of your personal liberty. In other words, you've been captured. And now you're under the control of other human beings. You are in handcuffs and maybe a belly chain, maybe a black box, maybe shackles. And they are going to put you into a cage. And you can't do shit about it. You can't do anything. Your hands are tied. You can't do shit. Yeah. 30 days in jail. Do they still do furloughs? Furloughs, not so much. Not so much. Furloughs was never a thing with the Federal Bureau of Prisons. It was on the books as a policy and as a under the Code of Federal Regulations. It was there, but the use of it actually being approved for something like that was like, nah. Maybe if you were at a camp and you were, militant and had big time lawyers on the job and you got way ahead of it and everything else was cool, paid all the money up front for the, for them to let you go. They have to pay for staff to go with you and escort you and all that, usually. So, yeah, furloughs are not big. Yeah, I mean, if you go to jail, think about it. You go to jail, people who just are arrested, maybe they live by themselves somewhere, got a little apartment, or maybe they live in an RV or on the street or somewhere, right? You're going to lose. You're going to lose everything. You're going to lose everything. And, I mean, that's the same as these folks who are being arrested by ICE. Think about it. They go and they arrest these people at these businesses or at these work sites or at their homes or other places. And, there's nobody there. Whatever they have is gone. Whatever they have is going to become the property of the state, or likely the property of the U.S. government. Give them a little time to come up with that, right? But it's that's what's up with the jail scene, man. And so, you have to make a decision. Oh, okay. Ah, nice. I got a friend getting out of federal prison over at the Florence, Colorado complex, and we intend to pick him up in October. Yeah. I mean, Texan, No, Zach, when you're when you're in those, when you're standing there in shackles and jail clothes, and you're charged with really, I mean, any crime that's going to keep you in a cage. I mean, my view has been for many years. You have to stop people who are they're just on a rampage, just on a roll of violent criminal activity. You have to be able to stop those people some way, somehow. If it's put them in a cage, okay. I don't think you deprive them of the opportunity for redemption. I don't think you ever take that away. But yeah, that percentage, which is probably somewhere in the 20% range, and that's expanding it. It's really probably somewhere in the 16 to 18% range. But the other 80%, do you really need to operate these jails for really low-level offenses, where the only reason that these guys and these men and women cannot get out is because they're just poor? They already don't have anything, and now they're going to lose what little shit they did have. And I've had this happen to me numerous times in the federal pen, right? And for some reason I fell for it like 2 or 3 times before I stopped falling for it. But I think it was because it happened at intervals over several years. But here's how it would go. Cop would come to the door, bang on the door, turn on the light or whatever. Hey, Powers. It'd be about 3 a.m. or 2:30 a.m. I got to take you down to R&D. Go ahead and get up, brush your teeth, take a piss if you've got to. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I've got to take you down to R&D. You're leaving. Or they would say, a lot of times they wouldn't even give me a chance to brush my teeth or take a piss, really. A lot of times they would just say, just come right in. They'd open the outer door, come in the sally port. Hey, Powers, get up. I got to cuff you up. Just like you are. Come on. You're going. You got to go to R&D now. And I would, get up out of bed. I remember doing this at ADX, just getting up and saying, what the fuck? What's going on here, man? No, you're going to have to get the team. Fuck you. I'm not going anywhere. No. This is in your benefit. Trust me. This is all good. We got to get you down to R&D. What about my property? Don't worry. We're going to take care of it. That is when when they say, don't worry, we're going to take care of it for you. No. That's when your shit's all going to get fucked off. Because it happened to me like 3 different times. But yeah, what's it like to go to jail for some stupid, petty little offense that, the cost-benefit ratio, if you're continuously committing petty crimes, then yeah, that's going to add up. But it seems like rather than taking everything that person has and putting them in a jail cell for 90 days or 60 days or 6 months or a year or whatever, it seems like society and that person would be better served if they were offered some type of help in a constructive way. Because this is the other face of that problem, is you've got people that don't want to be helped. They don't want to help themselves. They don't know. And that's it. No. Need to find a way to separate them. And really, in our view, that is our nonprofit's view, the way to make that separation is, one of the ways is we have what's called cue cards. And these are cards that list a number of positive characteristics and a number of what we would consider to be negative characteristics, an even amount of each. And, you basically shuffle them up, you go through them, and you decide which ones, if you were going to build yourself anew into a new person or a new personality, which of these characteristics would you find it most important to have? So, that person goes through this list and selects. And obviously some of those are going to be ones that maybe aren't or haven't been so productive, but many of those will be very good ones. So, the premise is that each of us has the capability to become a better human being each and every day. We have to work at it. There has to be a practice, a plan, a program that works. But that's just one of the ways that we use. There's other types of what they call personality index or psychological index, like a series of questions that a person can answer that'll give you a really good idea about certain elements of their personality that are more likely than not to stick out. That's the way I look at it anyway. But if somebody keeps getting into trouble repeatedly, and has a real issue with drugs and their life is just going to hell, again, if they're making those choices with clear eyes, with all the understanding that they need, if they're saying to themselves, hey, look, fuck it, human life sucks. I know that all I'm facing in the end is death anyway. I'd rather get it over with now. I'd rather just party while I'm young and live like this and fuck everything. And when I die, and that's it. If they're making those decisions with their eyes wide open, then I say you have the right to make those decisions up to a certain point. You can't. You see, it's an intractable type of a problem because you really can't justify spending a lot of taxpayer dollars to put someone into captivity that if you spent half of that amount and just gave them a stipend of some kind each month and gave them a tent and a little place, a little licensed piece of the sidewalk where they could sleep, they'd probably end up costing society a lot less, and it'd probably bring the crime down, substantially. Maybe not altogether, but substantially. And, once again, with the drug thing, I think that it's like prohibition. It's like trying to get people in prohibition to stop drinking liquor. Human beings are gonna use drugs. It's what human beings do. It's just a historical phenomenon of one kind or another. We are always looking to alter our present consciousness some way, somehow. And it could be something else that's not ingested. It could be something that you see or hear or whatever. But, all right, Texan, peace to you, brother. I didn't see you, you're out. I'm going to go out too, though, in about 20 seconds, because I have to get this thing put together today while the sun is out, and won't be out that much longer. I'm also pretty slow. But, yeah, that's what we do, and let's get back together. soon.